here you've got the full page to write across. I've got about 2/3 of the page. Find the domain. What's the issue? Right now, the only issue for us, and we're going to add pieces as we go along, is that you cannot divide by 0. Division by 0 is undefined. And we're going to hit this over and over and over again, but this will be the first time we hit it here. So what we're going to be looking at is the denominator cannot equal 0. So the only time I'm worried about domain is if I'm dealing with a fraction. If I don't have a fraction or a denominator, the domain is all real numbers. No denominator. Then the domain is all real numbers. I smashed that in there. Now remember, I have notation for that, and I usually use that. That means all real numbers. What also means all real numbers, you could use, that means all real numbers. Or you could write all the words, all real numbers, but I'm too lazy. So all real numbers, I just use that double bar R, and then that gives me that same connotation, all real numbers. So if it doesn't have a denominator, what's the domain? All real numbers. So if I look at 48, f of x is equal to minus x plus 4, what's the domain? All real numbers. And it's all real numbers because there is no denominator. Now, what do you notice this guy has? He has a denominator, doesn't he? So I know the denominator. I don't try to work the problem. Can't be 0. In this case, what's the denominator? What's the denominator? Not 1. What's the denominator? It's x, yeah. That means that x can't be 0. Now, what happens after a while, you tend to write this way. Right now, you can just write x can't be 0. All real numbers, x can't be 0. Or x can't be 0. Time we hit chapter 7, and we'll do it over and over and over again, that's what you'll tend to write. In college algebra, this is what we tend to write. But x can't equal 0 will be fine too. Because everything we're dealing with is real numbers. What do you notice this guy has? This guy has a denominator. And we know the denominator, I do not try to solve the problem. Can't be 0. That's the denominator. I could care less what the numerator is, because the numerator is not going to cause me a problem. It's the denominator that causes me a problem, because it can't be 0. So that's negative 2x plus 2 can't be 0. Now you just solve the equation. It's a not equal, so I make sure that I maintain my not equal. Negative 2x can't be negative 2. or x can't be negative 2 divided by negative 2, or x can't be 1. So again, if I were in college algebra, I'd probably start with all real numbers, x can't be 1. But x can't be 1 is a perfectly good answer.